Hello people, this is Ryder here to review the Armor Hero Star Ray Blazing Armor card holder. So, this is the card holder that allows, or that is used to transform, or to equip the Ray Ferno armor, as this is Armor Hero Ray Ferno, the secondary character of Star Ray and such. It's kind of taking the same cues as the previous set we've taken a look at. Obviously, it's been downsized and such. I really actually do like that the symbol here is actually in correlation to the character. So obviously, this is fire and such. But again, we got Ray Ferno on the right. We have the Blazing Armor card holder. Excuse me. Not exactly front and center, it's just kind of like there. And this one only includes 4 shine cards. Again, hopefully I'll actually get the correct title. Armor Hero Star Ray at the top. Again, I actually really do like that it does have his visor right there. Armor Hero Star Ray. It's kind of interesting that they're going with this comic panel background. It's interesting for sure. Sadly, mine got crushed here, but yeah, there's Ray Ferno with the blazing rod, and the bottom is basically the warnings and cautions and such. I forgot to mention that in the last video. The back basically is the same as the Ray Thunder summoning belt set, where we have a almost side view of Ray Ferno, tells you to use it with the summoning belt, and tells you, just tells you how you transform, to buy this, and also to buy the booster box stuff. So we'll get to that eventually. So here we have the contents out. Obviously, we have the shine cards. Unfortunately, with these card holder sets, they are not doing they're not doing these things. These are only for the big releases. So it's kind of unfortunate, but I kind of get it. But, obviously, because I think you should already know how these are, I think we can do the card holder first. And I just broke it. That's cool. I was going to show. Alright. I know it's nothing, but like still. Anyways, here we have the card holder for Ray Ferno. And definitely this one obviously takes a different avenue from Ray Thunder's, but you can argue it could continue off of the bike concept, because these are definitely like exhaust pipes and such. But like honestly, the blue paint here is really sharp. Like again, like I think from this point on, the gold is there's no longer going to be chrome pieces on here, but like I still think the gold on these is really solid and such. Again, we still have the mirror that is heavily scratched up, and obviously we have we have Ray Ferno's symbol that, again, I keep forgetting to show in the demo. And we have a like wind turbine, not turbine, but like we have a like exhaust and such. And again, like I like the exhaust concept they're going for this, and like the flame here is really nicely done. Like besides the like gold section here with the orange orb, like I really like the paint. Excuse me. I really like the paint they did under here for the fire. It looks really sharp, honestly. But again, it's it manages to be the same size as the Thunder card holder. Or it's primarily the same size. Obviously, this one's going to be the longest one just because of the handle. But it's consistent. Now for the back. It scared me. I'm going to turn it off. We have the back here, which kind of holds the same design, but it also continues the design of this. Like, obviously, the base of it's going to be black. It's just now this part's orange. And we got the copyright stuff here. And again, like, where you insert the cards, the same concept and such, or that's consistent, is to say at least. And again, this is the way it's going to be held, so that's why the star ray is this orientation and not this orientation. And again, this is where you would have pulled the pull tab, but I broke it, so that's super fun. Yeah, I also forgot to bring this up. Obviously, the way this knows this is in the belt is by this button getting pressed in, and then the card hits an inner button inside. But I never even mentioned how you take these things out either. I'm gonna have to bite this out just like I had to do for the the Thunder card holder. Forget it, I'm just gonna unscrew it. I'm too lazy to bite it out. Okay, so hopefully it triggers the sound for doing this. Nope, instead it plugs out. As you can hear from there, the activation sound, unfortunately, is not unique anymore. It would have been cool if it was like a fire explosion, but instead we just get the typical activation sound. So luckily, because I still have it handy, because I guess I never put it back on. If we were to have properly I think the issue is that it's not seated correctly, but if we were to pull it off from this orientation, it doesn't work because technically it thinks there's nothing. Like, it's because the as you can see there, that and this entire section is an LED panel, which is pretty nice. So this entire fire piece and the exhaust pipes are LEDs. So basically what you can do for this thing is that you can press it down, but that's for activating the switch within the belt, which again I did not go over. But to trigger the sounds within this thing, we need to spin the sphere. This thing goes to sleep automatically. But as you can see from there, like the LEDs gradually like reach to the center. And it's really cool. But unfortunately, I should point this out with the sphere. This sphere is really... My sphere, unfortunately, is damaged because of how this thing works. Because sometimes you can accidentally, like, it's advised to not press it and then spin it at the same time. That's why you can see these scrapes here because of pressing and then spinning because of a post that's present in here. So it's just unfortunate that they designed it like that. So this is the only good side I have left because everything else is scratched. Like I know Zrykin did this. I did this longer streak out of curiosity. So that's unfortunate. But other than that, the LEDs are pretty phenomenal. And then if we were to insert the shine card like so, obviously it announces its attributes, and unfortunately this is the toughest one to insert. Like it definitely doesn't look like it, but it is. Again, if we, you can stick any card in and such. Then if we were to insert it like this, as you can see, when you insert a card, the exhaust pipes also light up, and there are blue LEDs, so this is really nice. But now every time you spin it, these light up, which is really cool. I really like the addition of the exhaust LEDs and such. But other than that, that is kind of it. It basically functions. It has the same functions as the Thunder card holder. So let's move on to the cards. So I realized I did need to point out things with this, with the shine cards now, because obviously, as you can tell, these ones are different because it's an orange background with fire, because now the element attribute is fire. That's kind of it. Also, all the cards within this release are now normal. So here we have Ferno, which is pretty cool. And then if you remember the number scheme of AH6-A201, this obviously stands for Armor Hero 6, Armor 201, because he's the second armor in a technicality to show up. Yeah, he is the second armor, I think. Like, obviously, like, for promotional reasons, he is the secondary, but, too poorly worded, but he is the second armor. And the backs are obviously all, it's the same as the others. Now we have his weapon, the Blazing Stick, which is it's a pretty simple rod, like stun rod and such. There he is, right there, obviously fire. Again, Armor Hero 6, Gear 201. Now we get one of two skill cards. This one I tried translating because I don't know what episode to scrub through for the name, so I got Refine Flame Fist, Explosive Flame Fist. I think I just summarizing as that. My apologies. This is Skill 2-1 or dash Skill 201. And then we have a skill card for the Blazing Rod, which is, I think, Explosive Rod. I had to wait for the camera to cool down, so. Blazing Firebomb. And this one is Skill 202. So, yeah, there's all four of those cards. So obviously we will use them. Alright, so here we have that right there. And then if you were to stick this in like so, obviously doesn't do anything. So obviously after we say Lunka, we have to learn a new phrase, which obviously is saying Ferno. But how do you say that? This is it. You say it like this.
炼药
Linyao is probably the best way I can like butcher that. So again, let's do the entire transformation into Ray Ferno. Lungka, 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 Lungka. Sometimes you really have to speak up to the mic. Lungka. Linyao. Linyao. Alright. So again, just transform as usual. It's the same standby, but now it's what? Now he emits orange. And now to transform. So the interesting thing with this holder is that it actually plays its own standby. And to initiate the transformation, you want to spin the sphere and press it down. And now we've transformed into Ray Ferno. I apologize for messing that up. I don't know why it's actually difficult to do that. I think it's just because I'm really trying to like actually show the LEDs, and I apologize that you did not get to see this. So, yeah, that's basically, obviously, as you already saw, pressing in, it will just light up. So let's summon the blazing stick. So as you can see now, everything's now orange. But obviously, it's still the same sound set. Doing the explosive fire fist. Like, you can spin this, but it's not going to attribute to anything. And the blazing rod finisher. And I forgot to talk about this, but obviously the silhouette that this brings in is definitely different because this one definitely juts out more. But it's like, but again, Ray Thunder is also jutted out too. Like, not as excessively, but like, you know, it still does a good job of blending itself with the base belt and such, especially with the chrome, right? With the gold blending into the chrome, and then just the little sliver of gunmetal and such. But speaking of gunmetal, to remove the card holder, you want to press this back button out and then just simply slide it out. Because I did not, I forgot to show the fact that we need to use this card. So, we will transform into Ray Thunder with this because it's not locked to a, like, it doesn't matter what card holder you're using. I'll try to show it from here. Like, realistically, this would be the this would have made sense of as a way of them. No. However, obviously, I forgot to talk about this, but we can actually talk about it now. as you can tell, it didn't even do a fire attribute sound because we're using a card that's not a fire attribute. So it does matter that these associating cards, like that you do match the element of these cards, so then you get the full sound. It's kind of like the Wizard Driver, with like, you know, how the rings work and such, where you need to use, like, for example, if you want the full flame dragon or like the full dragon transformation, you need to be transformed as that style, or like to use like a spell ring, I think it's called, you need to already be transformed to get that additional sounds. So it's basically that kind of system and such. But what I was trying to say before is that in the show, it's established that they can, like, all three of them. It's kind of like in Lava, having the duo mode, where they're allowed to literally, they're allowed to transform into, they're allowed to transform into each other's armors. However, the way that they treat it in the show is literally just, oh hey, as long as you have the card, it will summon another card holder. So like, Ray Thunder is like, Ray Thunder gets to transform into Ray Ferno, but it's like, you know, it's literally just, oh, he just uses this as like as it is. He doesn't change the card out from his card holder and such. I think that would have been a more preferable way, so then it's not just it's not just, oh, the it's not the card, like, so then like it actually mattered which card you put in, as opposed to just, nope, everything lies into the card holder itself. I don't know what they call it in Star Ray, because again, Lava actually gave them changing into each other's armors a name. Like I said, dual mode. I don't know what they call the armor changing in Star Ray. But anyways, my thoughts overall on this set. Again, it's pretty solid. I think what I was gonna go into before, obviously, was like just that obviously if you did get the actual like summoning belt set for Ray Ferno, you obviously are missing several cards, because this one actually does give you an additional card, which is this card. The obviously, to go in line with how the Thunder Armor Summoning Belt set went, you obviously had a super rare version of Ray Ferno, but you also had two prior Armor Hero. You had a previous Armor Hero sets of cards, to which for Ray Ferno you had Mars's cards. This is obviously from the booster box, and these are the rare variants because this doesn't have a normal, and I didn't want to pull the normal for this one. I'd rather be consistent. So you pulled the two cards for Mars and such, which is, that's not it. You pulled these two cards for Mars, which is pretty cool. Apologize for that. I almost misspread information. Other than that, it's really up to you whether or not you want to get the entire set, or if you just want to get this card holder set. Because I think if you trying to remember where I was going with that. Like, basically this set is a lot more inexpensive compared to, well, it's like it's basically $20 less than the full set. Like, excuse me. I think it would have been cool if it did just come with the same cards. Like, I get why they have to leave out half the cards just so then, like, that set was unique of itself. Like, again, for people that are like card completionists, you technically are stuck into getting this set for this card itself. Again, it's just kind of weird and such. And I know I keep mentioning the set in like this release, but it's just because again, like the set technically is practically the same thing. It's just that obviously the one thing with the set though is that the huge selling point with Ray Fernal's like summoning belt set is that one does guarantee you the version 2 release of the Star Ray summoning belt. So that's kind of why a lot of people are going for that one. But again, luckily, because I was already supplied that with the restock, or the second release of the Thunder Armor summoning belt sets, I didn't need to go for those. Like, yeah, it sucks I am missing out on 3 cards, but it's like... it's generally whatever. Especially as we've already established before, these are not labeled as whether or not they come from, like, the toys, come from blind packs, or, like, anything. It's not like Bandai, or how Bandai Japan, or, like, just Bandai in general, from what I know, has done it, of, like, actually labeling where the cards come from specifically. That's still one of my biggest gripe with these cards, but we will get through that again tomorrow. But, again, I think I've already said my only gripe with this holder is just they make it so easy for you to scrape the paint off of the sphere, and it's like, why is there that post? Like that, because I assume it's like a rectangular post that's just there. It's like, why is that post there to just scratch the paint? Because that's why I have to advise, don't, like, make sure you don't, if you're trying to mimic the transformation, make sure when the sphere is done spinning and then press it down. But even then, you're still going to end up like scratching it up just with the amount of times you're going to press it down and such. It's just, I don't know, I don't like toys that do that. Because it's like, because then, like, immediately, now you're going to have, like, this weird streak, this weird black streak, to just remind you, yeah, you're stupid enough to press it down when spin it. And then this one just doesn't like standing, unfortunately. But other than that, like, again, I think this is a fun holder to handle and such. Like, it's because it's different enough from Ray Thunder's holder, but, like, you know, it still functions, it still has the same amount of functionality. I really like that there's not really anything different. In fact, Ray Thunder's, I think, has less functionality than the rest, because the revving sound only comes from when you insert it in the belt and not outside, which is really interesting. But I guess that's fair, because again, you have that button to just keep pressing and such. But yeah, I don't know how I lost my chain of thought when I had to change out batteries in between. But again, it's really up to you whether or not you want to get the set, or because honestly, it's nice they give us the option, or give you the option, to either get this individually or get the set. But it's just like, if you get the set, then like you're going to have to end up double dipping, because Ray Thunder doesn't have. They never did a corresponding set for Ray Thunder. It wouldn't have made sense, obviously, but it's like, I feel like they should have, just to at least give people that bought Ray Ferno's set the option to actually get Ray Thunder's cards and his card holder, because his card holder basically is held only within his set, like hit the big set. And like, yeah, you can get the cards at the card sets, but like, or through the booster packs, but you know, it would have been nice if Ray Thunder got his counterpart with this. Like, I wouldn't have picked it up, but like, just give that option to people and such. But that will have to do with this review. This is Ryder, and I'll leave you people. Bye.